Hey guys, SpinoDude here, and today we are going to be taking a look at a brand new 2018 Safari Limited figure for the #HawaiiSafari campaign. So let's have our co-host Marvin bring it out. Thank you, Marvin. So today guys, we are going to be taking a look at this. It is the brand new Safari Limited Amargasaurus. If you've been staying tuned to the channel, you'll remember that we recently had an unboxing video of 4 brand new 2018 figures from Safari Limited, and included in that batch was this brand new sauropod figure. A massive thank you to Safari Limited for sending this figure out. I cannot wait to take a closer look at it. So without further ado guys, let's dive into the review. Before we take a closer look at the figure, here are a few quick facts about Amargasaurus itself. Amargasaurus kazuai means amarga lizard. It was a species of sauropod from the Cretaceous period of what is now Argentina. Amargasaurus is famous for the rows of spines that run down its back, which are thought to either be supports for a double sail or to be independent structures. More recent studies say that a double sail would make the neck of Amargasaurus too rigid to bend, possibly interfering with the animal's feeding and drinking. Individual spines would most likely be used for display, possibly letting other Amargasaurus know when a particular individual was mature. So without further ado guys, let's start taking a closer look at this awesome sauropod. Alright guys, here is the brand new Amargasaurus from Safari Limited for 2018. And can I just say that for first impressions, this has to be one of the most visually appealing sauropod figures that I have in my collection and that I've seen in general in a long time. If you didn't know, Amargasaurus is actually my favorite species of sauropod simply because of its unique appearance. And this huge figure with its striking colors really just brings out my love of this sauropod even more. Now detail-wise, this figure is fantastic. I mean, look at all of these tiny scales individually carved into the sculpt across the body. The toned musculature in the limbs is done really nicely as well, and I also like how wide the midsection is here. If you can see, there are also like some scrapes and scars in the skin on this Amargasaurus, which is great attention to detail and makes it feel even more naturalistic. The tail here on this figure is super long, which is great to see, since on some sauropod figures they shorten the tails. It ends with this little whip, and it is quite bendy on the tip of the tail as well. The feet are done beautifully as well. You can see there are 3 toe claws on the back feet with 1 thumb claw on the front feet. And back here you can see that this foot is pulling backwards because this figure is in a walking position. The spines on the neck are beautifully done as well, and they are very bendy. They're almost made out of a rubbery plastic material, and it really gives a nice flow to them with the way they're bent on the back of the neck. You can see there is a double row of spines on the back of the neck, just like in the fossils of Amargasaurus, starting off with these 2 independent spines on the front. The head on this Amargasaurus is beautifully done. You can see that the eye is done in a yellow color there with a black pupil, and the paint job is actually quite interesting here. Now some people were actually concerned that this figure's face was going to be shrink wrapped, which basically means that the animal looks like it's hungry or starving and the skin is very tight around the skull. But the face here is not shrink wrapped, as you can see close up. It's merely the paint job that's just outlining the holes in the skull on this Amargasaurus. It is quite an interesting paint job, and close up, I'm not incredibly fond of it, but from farther away, it blends in with the rest of the color scheme and looks quite striking in my opinion. On the front of the face, you can see the nostril carved out on the snout there, as well as the teeth which are poking out of the jaw, and you can see those are done in a creamy white color. And although you can barely see in there, the interior of the mouth has been sculpted and painted with a little bit of a fleshy pink color, but I can barely see it even off camera. Now the colors on this figure are absolutely stunning. I think that might be my favorite part about this entire figure. I really like how Safari Limited is still experimenting with bright and vibrant color schemes on their dinosaurs rather than just dull browns and grays and greens. You can see that the colors on this Amargasaurus figure consist of a cream-colored underbelly with yellowish cream-colored sides and feet, a bright green body with reddish-brown markings going all the way from the back of the neck to the tip of the tail, a lighter reddish-brown stripe going down the top of the animal, as you can see there. White markings on the face and the spines are done in a bright reddish-brown color. Also, I like how the cream color from the underbelly comes up to form these small stripes on the neck. I just thought that was a nice addition. The pose on this figure is really well done and is super elegant. You can see that they sculpted this Amargasaurus to almost look like it is in a brisk stride, perhaps escaping a predator or something. I like how the head is slightly turned to the right, and you can see that the left hind leg and the right front leg are on the ground, while the left front leg and the right hind leg are lifted. I also like how the tail ends in a flick, and like I mentioned earlier, I love how these spines have a natural flow to them on the neck. I like how Safari Ltd has sculpted another sauropod that looks like it's on the move, similar to their Spinosaurus. Most of the time, sauropods are often depicted standing in one place because of their large size. Alright, so for my overall thoughts on this figure, I think it's absolutely fantastic. Like I said before, this has to be one of the most visually appealing sauropod figures that I've seen in a long time. I absolutely love the sculpt, I love the pose. I think most of all though, I have to say that I love the color scheme that they've gone for. The colors really make this figure stand out, but they're naturalistic at the same time, which I think is great. Also, the size of this figure really brings a lot of attention to it, and I think that a lesser known sauropod like Amargasaurus deserves more attention, so I like the larger scale that they've gone for here. So great work, Safari Ltd. You have done a phenomenal job recreating my favorite sauropod species, the Amargasaurus. Alright, you're probably wondering just how big this figure is, and we're gonna need a tape measure for this one, so Marvin, bring out the tape measure. Thank you, Marvin. Alright, we've got our tape measure here, so let's give this Amargasaurus a measure. So in terms of the length from the tip of the tail all the way to the tip of the snout, we are looking at about 17.5 inches. And in terms at the highest point, which is the top of the neck spines here, we are looking at about 4 inches. For comparison, here is the 2018 Safari Ltd Amargasaurus next to the Safari Ltd Spinosaurus. If you want to see the review for this figure, link will be down below in the description. Next to each other, you can see what I mean about both of these figures looking like they are on the move. And although out of scale, I think they look quite nice with each other. Up next for comparison, here is the 2018 Safari Ltd Amargasaurus next to the 2017 Safari Ltd Giganotosaurus. If you want to see the review for this figure, link will be down below in the description. Both of these dinosaurs are from South America from the Cretaceous period, and I think they look great next to each other, although out of scale. And finally, for comparison, here is the 2018 Safari Ltd Amargasaurus next to the 2017 Safari Ltd Diplodocus. If you want to see the review for this figure, link will be down below in the description. Both of these colorful sauropods look absolutely fantastic on display with each other. Well, there we go, guys. That was today's look at the brand new 2018 Safari Ltd Amargasaurus. I think this figure is absolutely fantastic. Safari Ltd definitely did not disappoint me with their depiction of my favorite species of sauropod, and I definitely recommend adding this one to your collection. So if you guys want to get this figure for yourself, they are available right now at www.safarilimited.com. And if you guys want to learn more about the #HowISafari campaign, make sure to check out Safari's Facebook page and other social media. So anyway, guys, I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like down below and subscribe to the channel. Also leave a comment telling me what you think of this brand new model. So thank you so much, guys, for watching, and as always, I will see you in my next video. Take care, and bye-bye.